Hallo liebe Nascar-Fans, André Wiegold hier. Ich freue mich heute auf ein ganz besonderes Video beziehungsweise auf einen ganz besonderen Podcast, denn mein Kollege Erik Resch und meine Wenigkeit, wir haben die Möglichkeit bekommen, mit 2311 Racing Nascar Cup Series Fahrer Riley Herbst zu sprechen und wir haben ihn ordentlich ausgefragt. Natürlich wurde dieses Interview auf Englisch geführt, also ihr müsst jetzt schon ein wenig die Ohren spitzen. Ich hoffe, euch gefällt's. Also, Lauscher auf, los geht's. So we have Riley Herbst, NASCAR Cup Series driver of 2311 Racing with us today. And Riley, thank you so much for having us. I hope everything is fine after this amazing win for your team and Bubba Wallace in Indianapolis.
Yeah, it's been a really fun week here at Airspeed and 2311. Everybody's super happy and proud of the 23 team and Bubba for doing so well this past weekend at Indianapolis. And we're all ready to get to Iowa this weekend. So unique tracks in the back-to-back weeks and looking forward to it.
All right, let's start with our questions that we prepared for you. I told you before we start recording this that I'm part of the broadcasting team, and of course, we have a big community in Germany and Europe watching NASCAR, and a lot of German people are traveling to the US and try to watch NASCAR races there. It's a big, big trip for them. We know that you're from Las Vegas, and it's a really coincidence there, but we always tell them, go to Las Vegas first because you have the Strip, you have the beautiful city and a racetrack close to it. You can see a lot of things. But you as a local from Las Vegas, what are the hidden gems you would recommend to Germans visiting Las Vegas, the USA, and also NASCAR for the first time? I think you have something special there, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're coming to the United States for the first time, the place to come is Las Vegas, like you said. It's so awesome. We have a 100% nightlife. I know there's some cool European cities that have very cool nightlife as well, but I think Las Vegas is very unique. We have obviously Formula One that races there in November, a NASCAR track, and the food's phenomenal. So a lot of casinos as well, shows, hiking, nature aspects. So we have everything in Las Vegas, and it's a cool city.
All right, coming from Las Vegas, how did you build your NASCAR career from there? Since Las Vegas is pretty far from NASCAR's home base in North Carolina, how did you approach it? Where were the key steps and the series you took part in, and when did you have to move to relocate to go full time in NASCAR?
Yeah, I moved to North Carolina, Charlotte area when I was 18 years old. So I've been out here for about 6 years now, so it's been quite some time for sure. It's been fun, but yeah, we grew up on the West Coast racing go karts, road circuit go karts, kind of very more common in Europe, and then just progressed to the ovals and kind of climbed my way through the NASCAR ranks and moved out to Charlotte when I was 18.
We in Europe, we always have the typical path. You go karting, then Formula Racing, Formula 3, 2, and you hope to go to the Formula 1. But for European audience, what are the series you raced when you started your career? Does it look like? What are the tracks like?
Yeah, a lot of it when I was a young kid was go karts, just like you guys have over in Europe, road racing karts. So I did a lot of circuits, road circuits as a young kid. And then when I was about 12, 13 years old, we went to mini oval cars. They're called legend cars here in America. They're for young kids on circle tracks. And that's kind of where I first got introduced to circle track racing as a young kid. And I fell in love with it and grew up through there.
So, Kevin Harvick and Denny Hamlin are known as your mentors, and you've certainly learned a lot from them. So, what's the most important lesson you've learned from one of them?
Yeah, that's a great question. Both of them are first ballot Hall of Famers for sure. And Denny Hamlin is a 50 multiple time winner, and Kevin Harvick is our champion. So those are two really great people to be able to lean on and learn from. I think both of them are very similar messaging to me is just take it as you can, learn as much as you can, and complete all the laps, right? Because this rookie year in the Cup Series is very difficult. So continue to learn each week and take each week for what it is and try to move on to the next week.
So, and do you remember a moment when you consciously ignored a mentor's advice and maybe it paid off?
No, no, I haven't ignored their advice too much, and it works. Usually, if you ignore their advice, it's gonna go wrong. And they're rightfully going to tell you that it went wrong. So we're trying to be cooperative here and take all the advice we can do and follow it to the best we can.
And then you made it. You are now a NASCAR Cup Series driver. And once you made it, what was the moment when you realized what makes it so special to be a NASCAR star out there in the United States?
Yeah, a lot of people say that. I don't know. I don't think making it to the Cup Series means you make it, because this sport is so difficult. Things happen so fast; it can chew you up and spit you out in a matter of a second. So I don't think you make it until you get some success underneath your belt. So we're just getting started. We're trying to learn as much as we can, but yeah, like you said, I don't know. There's a special feeling when you show up to the Daytona 500 with your name on a Cup car. That's a lifelong dream come true for most of everybody in the field and a young racer like myself.
So in your youth, you had a lot of exposure to off-road and desert racing thanks to your family. How did that transition into NASCAR, and would you ever consider going back and maybe race in Rallye Dakar or something like that?
Yeah, actually, that is a bucket list race for myself. Is Paris Dakar. I've always been a fan of it. I've watched it every year, followed along. So I think those guys are insane. And what is it? 18-day rally is really phenomenal. So hopefully one day we get to be able to do that. But just growing up, being a huge motorhead, gearhead, just loving everything about race cars and all different types of series, just kind of led me to NASCAR and my local short track. So that's kind of how everything happened.
So, and road courses are gaining more and more weight in the NASCAR Cup Series, and us Europeans are eager to see the Cup Series stars race at over here. And which European track would you pick for an exhibition race, and why does it particularly suit cup racing from a driver's perspective?
Wow, that's a great question. There's so many great circuits over there in Europe. I don't know if our cup cars would fit well on it, but probably one of my favorites is over in Belgium, Spa. I think that's such a proper road circuit. It's so much fun to watch cars go around that place. And even the Nürburgring, probably the short track, obviously, not the 100 corner one, but that's such a fun racetrack to watch. And I've driven a little bit on iRacing too. So those are both some of my favorite road circuits for sure.
Ah, that's amazing. I can tell you that those cars could fit to any European racetrack because I've been working for the NASCAR Euro Series since 2017 and I'm following the series since its inception in 2020 and 12. And the Euro NASCAR is one of the international series. We have 4 in total. Bobby Labonte, a Cup Series champion, Myatt Snyder, one of the Xfinity stars, Ryan Vargas, and currently Garrett Lowe have been West drivers competing here in Europe in the NASCAR Euro Series. Lowe is also active in the eNASCAR Series. I think 2311 Racing was also there, but is no longer involved in the virtual racing series. Have you talked to those drivers ever about NASCAR Euro Series and how it's like being in Europe?
No, I haven't, to be quite honest with you. But I've seen some highlights on the interweb, and it looks like good American racing. So it's cool to see that the NASCAR product has made its way over to Europe, and the shows are entertaining, and the races are really cool to see. So hopefully one day us Cup Series drivers will take the Cup Series over to Europe, whether it be an oval or a road circuit. But I think that's the plan, and hopefully it can be achieved one day.
And what do you think about iRacing? You mentioned it already, simulations, and the possibility of entering motorsports with a very low entry barrier because it costs way less and you can practice a lot without spending a lot of money. How much iRacing are you doing and how do you use it to prepare yourself for the races?
Yeah, I don't do too much of iRacing, but I like iRacing. It gives me an opportunity to make a lap around Spa or Nürburgring or some cool racetracks and um, drive interesting cars that I never thought I would be able to get to drive, whether it be an Indy car, Formula One, GTD car, GT3s, anything like that is very cool. So yeah, I think it serves its purpose, and it's a fun tool and something fun to hang out with my friends and try to go see who can set the fastest lap somewhere.
All right, let's talk about you a little bit more in the racing part. We'd like to get to know you a little bit better. That's also very important for me when I'm at the broadcast of the NASCAR Cup Series in Germany. What's your pre-race ritual to get in the zone? How do you experience the pre-race ceremony before getting in the car? And if you were to win your first Cup race, would your celebration be like Bubba Wallace? I saw some videos of the party. Or how would you celebrate if you make it happen?
Well, when we make it happen, I don't know. I don't really let myself get that far ahead or think that far ahead. It'd be awesome. Obviously, that would be it's what we're working hard every day to accomplish. But hopefully, yeah, I'd be able to hang out with my team and some of my friends, and we could share some beers or something like that. But we gotta run up front more often to be in contention week in and week out, like the 23 and the 45 team are. So yeah, that's kind of my thought process on that.
And what about the pre-race ritual and the pre-race ceremony? How do you experience that being a Cup Series driver right now?
Yeah, the pre-race ceremony is really fun. It's very cool to be there, standing on the grid and listening to our national anthem and big flyover with fighter jets and fireworks and all the other stuff that comes along with it. It's very cool. So that's a fun thing to take in. And as far as the pre-race ritual, I don't really have one. I just kind of talk to my crew chief, get the information I need, and strap into the car and go racing.
Amazing. 2311 Racing won with Bubba Wallace at Indianapolis, and it was a fuel saving. Fuel saving was a key factor. And now I'm asking this because every time there's a caution and we are close to the fuel window for the next stint. How does a fuel saving work on the caution, and what do you actually save compared to a green flag lap? I know it's depending on the track. Let's say on a average intermediate oval. I know you cannot share too much secrets, but just to get an idea how fuel saving is working and how much you're really saving on the yellows.
Yeah, I don't know the number of how much we're truly saving, but it's pretty straightforward. We're running about 75 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour under caution. And so basically all we're doing is just shutting the car off. We literally just turn the race car off and we put the clutch in and we just coast around the track until we're about to stall. And then you turn the car back on, you gain a little speed, and then you shut it back off and you coast around. And they say it saves a lot of fuel. So I don't know. That's for the engineers to decide. And I just do what I'm told, or at least I try. So yeah.
All right. And what about saving fuel under green when you know you're maybe a little bit short on fuel mileage? What can you do without losing too much pace? What exactly are you doing in the car?
Yeah, the biggest thing there is just to back up all your marks. So if you were driving into the 200 marker, drive into the 350 marker, those 150 feet add up lap after lap, and that just saves fuel as well. So same principle there. You're just trying to not burn as much gas. That's the main objective, and the way to do that is to not be on the throttle pedal.
Okay, so then I have another question for you. 2311 Racing is a relatively new team. And for example, Joe Gibbs Racing, after they win, they hang a banner into the shop. Does 2311 have any of that traditions? And if so, what are they?
Yeah, we have a lot of cool traditions here at Airspeed. When fans walk in the front door, there's these nice wooden plaques that are hanging on the entryway that all the fans get to see. Those are kind of like our banners for wins, and we have a lot of celebratory things that happen on the shop floor the week after. So it's a good time, and it makes you feel like we're a close knit family because that's truly what we are. And there's not as many people as a Joe Gibbs Racing or a Hendrick Motorsport, so we kind of act accordingly.
So, and then we've talked about your team. So there we have Bubba Wallace who wins, Tyler Reddick wins, and now your boss, Denny Hamlin, wants to see you in the victory lane too, or bring you to the victory lane. And he's mentioned Daytona in the press conference after Indianapolis, where you could maybe sneak into the playoffs at the last minute. Do you think it's realistic this year? And what do you still need to learn, as Denny Hamlin would say, to make that step into the victory lane?
Yeah, I mean, I think of course it's realistic. Anything can happen at Daytona, but that's kind of not that's not where our mindset is. Our mindset is to be better this week at Iowa than we were last week at Indianapolis. and just continually to lay the foundation and continue to build and get better and better. And sooner or later, we'll be competing week in and week out and have a chance to win every race, not just the plate track. So that's our goal here on 35 team, and it's supported by everybody at 2311. So we're having a good time doing that. And the main thing is to learn and try to get better each week.
On which points do you work, for example, for this week in Iowa? So, yeah.
Oh yeah, for Iowa. Well, it's a 7/8 mile, so I don't know what that translates into kilometers, but or meters. But yeah, it's a fairly short track for us. It's got some new asphalt in the corners, whereas the straightaways are old asphalt. So it's a unique racetrack. Qualifying is going to be important because it's such a short track that you need to start closer to the front. And it's 350 laps. So it should be a long race, but a fun race. And most of us have been going to Iowa Speedway since we've been young kids, because that's where they take the young drivers to develop them in the lower series. So we all have a lot of experience around there, and it's a fun racetrack.
All right, there's a stereotype in Europe. We are totally against it because we know NASCAR really, really well, but a lot of Europeans are saying you're just turning left. This is a competitive field. It's not easy to work your way to the front. We see that. Shane van Gisbergen, one of the best touring car drivers in the world, is dominating on the road courses, but still has to learn on the ovals to help the European NASCAR and motorsport fans a little bit, who mostly know road courses, to understand how do the best oval racers in the world, and you're one of them, make the difference? What makes you and the others so fast that you can regularly beat such a strong driver like Shane van Gisbergen, but also when we saw in the past Kimi Räikkönen, Matthias Ekström, whoever tried NASCAR, you were always beating really strong drivers in the world, especially on ovals. How do you make, in those 4 turns, how do you make the difference? Why are you the best oval racers in the world?
Well, I think the principle is the same thing as it is in Europe on why the top Formula One drivers are so good. They've worked their whole life for that craft, and we've been racing ovals since we were young boys, and so that's all we know. The key is to keep the momentum up in the center of the corner and make it as fluid as possible. So sure, it looks pretty simple from 20,000 feet, but there's a lot to it. You got to match your entry speed to your apex speed to your exit speed. So yeah, I mean it's all very normal compared terminology to what you guys talk about in road racing and in Formula One. It's just in a constant circle, and that's what makes it so difficult and challenging.
All right. From our side, that's it. We are through with our question. Thank you so much that you spent the time with us today and gave us some insights in the NASCAR Cup Series in your career. Thank you so much, Riley.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Das waren also die Einblicke von Riley Herbst aus der NASCAR Cup Series. Ich hoffe, euch hat das Video gefallen. Es hat eine Menge Spaß gemacht, mit dem NASCAR Cup Series Fahrer zu sprechen. Wenn euch dieses Video gefallen hat, dann abonniert unseren Channel und folgt uns natürlich auch auf den sozialen Medien. Da bekommt ihr alle NASCAR Updates. Also macht's gut und bis zum nächsten Mal. Ciao.